Welcome back, hot dogs. You know, it's your boy TWP, aka the Spider Pig, back with another Super Saturday. Y'all already know to stop by every week for some Dragon Ball content, whether it's Unrelent or somebody else. I got some videos ready to go for y'all. Y'all know to check in with me so we can see what's going on in the world of Dragon Ball, Super, Z, Abridged, whichever one it is. Y'all already know how we do. Y'all see the new haircut? Yeah, we rocking that, and it's old news to me, so good news to y'all. You see what I'm saying? If you don't like it, go ahead, hit the buy me a coffee, and we'll grow it back out if y'all put the funds up for it. But the way my stuff's going, I'm good with everything. But anyways, let's get into today's videos because we got a couple good bankers for y'all. Y'all know they finally finished and wrapped up the end of Cell Max. So we're going to be done with that for 2023 and 2024. Hopefully we'll be all new original Dragon Ball content. Shouts out to the new manga. Y'all know this is number 100. Said play all, Buster. Got y'all sitting here just looking at me.
Hey everyone, it's me, Goku! Don't forget to subscribe to Unreal and Gaming. Here, you'll find the latest Dragon Ball news and content. Also, don't forget to like the video and follow Unreal on both Instagram and Twitter.
You Kakarot, you will be the first to turn on notifications and give this video a like right now, or else I'll destroy you!
And so it finally now looks as though it's all come down to this, as with the stage now set for Gohan to give it his all in finally putting Cell Max away for good. I can't help but wonder on if he can go and pull it off alone, because as chaotic and as intense as the battle on Earth may appear, it would also seem as though the battle here involving Goku and Vegeta is also coming to a close as well. And with all things now ending in the way they should, I wonder what kind of new adventures wait for us now that everything has finally reached its end.
As we kick off Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 100, the final chapter in the story of the retelling of the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, with Beast Gohan finally having to be shown unleashing the power of the special beam cannon, now having to be translated into a different name known as the Light of Death, which interestingly enough, with the first few pages having to showcase a colored variation of the final battle involving Orange Piccolo, Beast Gohan, and Cell Max, the moment Beast Gohan's special beam cannon was shown having to collide against Cell Max's ultimate attack was when something very interesting was shown taking place, even for a moment by comparison to that of the film, and that was Beast Gohan was looking as though he was seemingly at a stalemate, and from that point being shown having to struggle in getting his beam to go directly through Cell's attack, which could either be interpreted in one of two ways, which that having to be number one, either Cell Max is a lot stronger than what we give him credit for, or number two, is that perhaps maybe Beast Gohan really isn't as strong as one would imagine, to which even with Gohan shown struggling and pushing the beam through, was when surprisingly enough enough, that was when from out of nowhere, Goten and Trunks were then shown having to circle back around, and from there being shown having to fly directly through and kicking Cell Max's hand away because this was the hand that was used in pushing the attack into Gohan's, which had only then subsequently created room for Gohan to finally finish the job, as Krillin then went on to respond, "The boys, their fusion wore off," and this was the opportunity that Gohan was indeed looking for, in which with Gohan shown having to put even more power into his Makon Kosenpo and now being able to fully pierce through Cell Max's attack, was when the end was essentially inevitable, with Gohan's attack being shown having to make contact with Cell Max's cranium, but it was only milliseconds just before contact was made was when Orange Piccolo was shown having to use both hands and keeping Cell Max's head still, which I do in my own opinion believe that this was a nice little addition in having to showcase more of the danger that Cell Max was in the story. But with the ending of this story being what it was, with the special beam cannon shown going directly through, we can now safely put to rest the threat level that was of Cell Max, with Gohan being shown having to finally defeat him, to which, similar to that of the film with Piccolo letting go as Cell Max's body was shown descending on down, this had not only marked the end of a long battle to begin with involving the Red Ribbon Army and their most dangerous android to begin with, but we also get to see a really cool shot of both Beast, Gohan, and Piccolo having to acknowledge the overall situation following Cell Max's initial defeat. But even then, similar to that of the film, it didn't seem as though it was over necessarily yet, because with Krillin having to acknowledge the overall situation with Cell Max being defeated was when Krillin then went on to respond, "They did it! It's over! Hey, he's gonna blow! Get moving!" Gamma 1 then went on to quickly shout, which right before everyone was shown having to take off and leaving before Cell Max was shown exploding, was where from out of nowhere all you saw was Orange Piccolo's giant hands be shown grabbing onto Goten and Trunks' cape before having to take off, which I think is a pretty funny thing considering that Piccolo was their teacher ever since they were kids, only for Cell Max to then be shown exploding and creating a gigantic burst of energy that nearly caught everyone if they hadn't had left, in which moments later, as soon as the explosion was then shown having to subside, was when Bulma went on to look out her window by then responding, "Well, it's a good thing that we didn't stick around," with Pan uttering, "The big monster's gone." Well, I do hope that everyone's okay, in which as Bulma was then shown seeing Pan laugh after looking outside the window was when Bulma then went on to continue, "Well, I take it that they're just fine then?" In which back down below, similar to that of the film with Dr. Hedo and Gamma 1 still being shown having to be alive, was when all of the previous tension was now shown disappearing, only this time with Dr. Hedo and Gamma 1 suffering a great loss through Gamma 2, in which over on the other side with Pan looking for her dad and not knowing as to where he was when Pan then surprisingly stumbled upon none other than Beast, Gohan, and Orange Piccolo in their final transformations, which comedically enough went on to startle Pan because she had never seen her dad or Piccolo look the way they did. But once of course they were shown powering back down was when Pan quickly leapt into Gohan's arms, with Piccolo then being shown looking on over and seeing what had happened with Gamma 1 and Dr. Hedo was when Piccolo then went on to chime in, "Well, if anything, we couldn't have beaten that beast without their help," with Gohan responding, "Heck, and I wonder if Dad and Vegeta could have taken down that monstrous version of Cell too," with Piccolo responding, "And this is why I said that you can't afford to get rusty even during seemingly peaceful times, Gohan." "Oh, right, sorry. And what, if I may ask, was that final attack?" Piccolo questions, with Gohan responding, "It was supposed to be the light of death." "You called that the light of death?" Piccolo questions, with Gohan responding, "It's just a poor imitation, I guess." "Well, it was brilliant," Piccolo acknowledges, to which back over with Gamma 2 finally shown having to evaporate and being dusted into the sky, was where through his noble sacrifice it was acknowledged in the fact that without Gamma 2 that our heroes wouldn't have been able to do this, in which as Piccolo was shown having to approach from behind was when Piccolo then went on to ask, "So he's gone?" "Yes," Gamma 1 responds, "despite your best efforts to save him," with Piccolo asking, "So what exactly did he do back there?" with Gamma 1 having to respond, "That was all of his energy unleashed in one massive burst, and well, it paid off because that initially had weakened that monster," Gamma 1 continues. "Well, he really was a superhero," with Gamma 1 responding, "Thank you, as your efforts have saved the world as well." "Oh, it's all my fault," Dr. Hedo went on to utter. "I created Cell Max, and Gamma 2 paid for the price for my foolery." "I mean, they exploited you too," Krillin went on to then quickly chime in. "You didn't seem like a total villain before joining up with the Red Ribbon Army, you know," with Dr. Hedo shouting, "No, I should have known better. I did know better, but the allure of research funding was just too great." "Well, you've given androids a bad name, pal," 18 went on to then respond, with Bulma chiming in, "Honestly, it's a wonder that you survived all of this," with Dr. Hedo responding, "Right, well, you see, I've modified my skin and makeup making it resilient against impacts. Your actual skin, Bulma questions? Yeesh, that makes my own skin crawl. Well, like you didn't have your crow's feet removed, Trunks utters. Hey, some things just need to stay put, Trunks. So, and Goten, don't tell your mom about all of this, alright? Because if you did, then she'll tear me apart if she finds out that I dragged you into such a big battle, with Goten uttering, yes ma'am. So then, Dr. Hedo, right? What's your next move? With Hedo standing up and responding, well, I'll go and turn myself and Gamma 1 into the authorities, with Krillin responding, well, now I know that the entire point of this investigation was to arrest you, but I'm having second thoughts at this point. Right, Piccolo responds, so why don't we call it water under the bridge then? And well, even though you're not exactly good, but you're not evildoers either. But then, in that case, would Capsule Corporation be willing to hire Gamma and me? Hedo then went on to quickly plead. Oh, are you for real? 18 went on to shout. You can't be serious, with Krillin being shown pushing 18 back by responding, you're in no place to be asking for favors, okay, please. Well, do you know anything about beauty treatments, Bulma questions? Beauty, ma'am? Yeah, like making skin look younger, Bulma then questions? Naturally, I'm well versed in biology, and I do have a licensed practice in medicine, so that would be easy, yes. Well, sure, yes, then perfect. Your talents are of real interest to my company then, and to me personally, Bulma responds. Plus, you do in fact come with one heck of a bodyguard, and I can't have you out there conducting another dastardly plot, you know, with Dr. Hedo uttering, no, of course not, and I have completely given that up, with Bulma questioning, well, any thoughts, Piccolo? Well, I'm not opposed, so better to use him than the Dragon Balls for your stupid wishes, Bulma. Hey, that's enough out of you! Anyways, so that settles it then. You're hired, Bulma responds. Thank you so much, Dr. Hedo went on to then quickly respond. Hey, be grateful too, you know. Yes, thank you, Gamma 1 utters. In which towards the very end, with Piccolo being shown looking on over towards Pan, with Pan having a giant smile on her face, it was only from out of nowhere, similar to that of the film, with Pan now shown demonstrating that she in fact could actually fly, was where this in fact was a very touching moment for everyone, considering the fact that this was the beginning of so much more for Pan to come, in which we're comparing where Pan was in the beginning in not knowing much to where at the end, with Pan now being shown having to be able to fly, was where this had only now become a sign for many more great things to come. However, unlike the film, it only had now seemed as though there were in fact a few survivors from the Red Ribbon Army, with number 15 and Carmine being one of many of them, was when 15 went on to ask Carmine, you hanging in there, Carmine, sir? With Carmine uttering, yes. Damn it all, the commander's dead and our base lies in ruins. So then what's the plan now, sir? With Carmine responding, first things first. We go and return to Red Pharmaceuticals immediately. To which in the meantime, as this was shown going on, when then venturing on over back onto Beerus's planet, was where similar to that of the film, with Goku and Vegeta shown having to have one last struggle in battling against each other until the very end, was where neither of the two were willing to let up to the other, especially now when having a bit more of an extension to their fight by comparison to that of the film, because it was only during their exchange with both Goku and Vegeta shown exchanging heavy shots against one another was when Goku then went on to utter, how are you still on your feet? With Vegeta responding, oh, likewise, so just drop to the ground already. Well, in that case, one last clash to decide it all, Vegeta utters with Goku, to which as they were both shown slowly stepping forward, was when comedically enough, both of them were shown having to exchange punches, with Goku's coming up just a tad bit short, and from that point only to have Vegeta be shown taking the lead by nudging Goku in the chest and dropping him on down, in which the very moment with Vegeta being the last of the two being shown standing with Goku admitting that he had lost, was when Vegeta had now been declared the victor, with Whis having to turn on over following his initial card play with Shilai, as Whis went on to then ask, oh, is that so? Well then I guess I declare Vegeta the victor, with Vegeta uttering, I've done it. At long last, I've bested Kakarot! As one could only imagine as to how long this fight went on, with Shilai looking on over by then responding, oh, so they're finally done? Great, what a couple of numbskulls. It's crazy, don't you agree, Broly? But unfortunately enough, with Broly being shown crying next to Lemo, it only had now appeared as though Broly did agree, with Shilai having to continue, well, that's meant for you, ridiculous, with Whis responding, well, I suppose that I should start repairing the ravaged landscape then. Oops, wait, now where did I leave that thing? "Oh, there you are," Whis went on to look on over by his staff and responding, in which with everyone shown having to head back home courtesy of Bulma having to pilot her ship, was when Gohan then went on to tell Pan, "Well, I haven't realized that Pan's been growing up so much, you know, Piccolo, so maybe I shouldn't keep my nose to the grindstone so much, you know? Well, you don't say," Piccolo questions.
Anyways, y'all know this is the part where they end in this series. So, you know, coming up next month on January 20th, shouts out to the Super Saturdays, because y'all know it'll come out on the 20th. And I'll have the video up the Saturday after, probably. Unless it's on Saturday, then you'll get it when it's live. But y'all know how we do. But yeah, they wrapping it up. I mean, they wasted 2023 doing a retell of a movie they made when they skipped other movies. That's what he says at the end of this. So y'all already know how it goes. And we got the scans up in the back for you. Y'all keep reading if y'all reading it. But hell, the rest of this show is going to be lit. Because, you know, we're going to go back into the Black Goku versus everybody, basically. Because, you know, he finna be on some BS. And then we got the Vegeta versus Cobra. So y'all know to stay tuned to the end of the video. Because if you missed the end, I ain't going to tell you what you missed. You're just going to get the playthrough video on the repeat. I do like how they had your boy Piccolo hold that boy head still. Like, nah, don't miss the fade. It's like the barber when he cutting your hair. He line you up. He just grab you by the back of the head and say, Zzz. Oh shit.
But when going back and taking a look at Shueisha's track record and seeing as to how they skipped over the Battle of Gods movie, the Resurrection F movie, and even Dragon Ball Super Broly, it baffles me to no end as to why they had to go shot for shot in retelling the entirety of the movie for Superhero in the form of the arc to begin with. So in my opinion, this has to be the worst arc in the manga and the most boring to begin with, because there was absolutely nothing that has changed narrative wise. There was absolutely nothing that added on to the story that we already knew, especially for those that even went as far as to go see the movie to begin with, only to have to read up on everything again in the manga. It was completely pointless, even though I do agree in my own assessment to say that the manga depiction is better than that of the film. The one thing that we can all look forward to now is seeing what the next arc has in store within the Dragon Ball Super manga now that this is over and done with. So what I would like to know from you guys down in the comment section below right now are 3 specific things, that being number 1, on a rating scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being absolutely abysmal and with 5 being phenomenal, what would you guys rank Dragon Ball Super manga chapter number 100 and why? Question number 2 is, when going into 2024, what is the next arc that you expect to be told within the Dragon Ball Super manga? And lastly, question number 3 is, where exactly on the tier list would you guys rank the superhero manga adaptation in the form of having to rank that next to the Tournament of Power, the Moral arc, the Granola arc, and etc. As again,
Yeah, that was the end of chapter 100. We'll see y'all in on that type of time.
Messed up moments in comics that made us go, what the f? Part 73. This is the Lord of Apocalypse, Seeker of the Anti-Life Equation, Darkseid. And this is the story of the one person who's able to beat him once a year. Incredibly powerful villain. He can solo the New Gods, can basically take out the Justice League on his own, and is quite possibly one of the most famous big bads that DC has. So you might be thinking to yourself, who could beat him? In this 2-page story, we see one of Darkseid's underlings bringing news. He states he has gotten past all of our defenses. Another underling states that the satellites have been disabled and the flying parademons are helpless. Ground and air forces are ineffective to this threat. Then they say he's here. Darkseid asks, on the planet? And the thug says, no, he's in the room. That's when we see the threat that Darkseid faces every year. It's none other than Santa Claus. Every year, Santa hand delivers a lump of coal to Darkseid and escapes without a scratch.
Hey everyone, it's me, Goku! Don't forget to subscribe to Unreal and Gaming. Here, you'll find the latest Dragon Ball news and content. Also, don't forget to like the video and follow Unreal on both Instagram and Twitter.
You, Kakarot, you will be the first to turn on notifications. And give this video a like right now, or else I'll destroy you!
I went with the last of that because that stuff was weak. You know, the end of that was weak, so let's get that on out the way. Because here's something interesting. Then at the end is what we all want to see anyways. Vegeta versus Cobras. Man, I ain't telling y'all. Hey.
With Goku Black now being shown having to put an end to the once governing god of destruction of Universe 10 Ramush, it only now appears as though Universe 10 is without a governing god of destruction, as with Goku Black looking to further initiate his Zero Mortals plan, tension continues to brew between Goku Black and Gowasu, with Goku Black now demanding that Gowasu help train him. This only now begs the million-dollar question going forward on whether or not Goku Black is going to take his time in devising a well-enough plan, in now having to further go about by completing his Zero Mortals plan, but more importantly, how far is Goku Black going to go now that he has full control over Universe 10 without any of the other mortals or divine beings knowing about Goku Black's resurrection? Now, before we dive any further into this video, if you are new to the channel and of course have a love and passion for all things Dragon Ball related, including its manga, anime, video games, fan animations, fan mangas, and more, in which would also like to be kept up to date with everything in regards to the Dragon Ball Super manga, the Dragon Ball Super anime, Dragon Ball video games, and any and all additional content within the Dragon Ball universe, then I do encourage you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon to always be notified whenever a brand new video is posted onto the channel, as well as giving this video a big thumbs up by slapping that like button down below if you guys are simply excited to see what the future holds for the Dragon Ball franchise. And with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your time, thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and now let's dive straight into the video. As our story opens up with Goku Black now being shown bringing Gowasu with him and using the time ring that he had in traveling into a different timeline, in which upon having to observe the battle involving both Super Saiyan Blue Vegito and Merged Zamasu, it was only from there where Goku Black went on to comment, "Exercise extreme caution, Gowasu. If you so as much as cough, I will destroy you on sight." And so now, on to the first observable timeline. The timeline of my unfortunate destruction by the hands of the Omni King. These were the events of my ultimate merger going head-to-head against those ridiculous Saiyans and the Potaras you gave them. "We're not supposed to be here, Zamasu, please." "Nonsense," Kai Black shouts. "We are exactly where we are supposed to be, regardless of what you say. And now then, I want you to analyze the situation carefully and tell me," Black says, "why were the Potaras more effective with the Saiyans than they were with myself and the other Zamasu? Our fusion remained for a much longer duration, but why? Why were we inferior to that Saiyan mortal Vegito if our bond and usage of the Potaras were supposed to be better sufficient? Answer me, Kai, now!" As with Goku Black now being shown having to quietly enter this new timeline by holding on to Gowasu's neck, it was only from there where Gowasu went on to comment, It was likely a result of the life force of their bond that binds them. Rivals by nature, Saiyan warriors by blood," he says. "I would only imagine that the reason for your inferiority to their fusion was likely due to that stolen body," he says. "Your fusion was falling apart from the very beginning as a result of this great corruption between the two of you," with Black responding, "Falling apart, why? What is the source of that fusion's power? Does it derive from their rage? It cannot just be the history they share. I once believed that converting one's anger into power was only for feeble-minded mortals, but now I see I was wrong to think that after destroying Universe 10's God of Destruction. So tell me, where would a mortal's fusion such as the ones here rank among the gods?" With Gowasu responding, "Well, from my initial understanding, assuming that their fusion was on the verge of exerting their full power against you as the battle continued, I would say their power is at the level of the gods, or perhaps even higher, but I'm not sure since they never had the chance to actually use their full power," Gowasu adds. "On the level of the gods or higher, huh? I am rather interested in seeing the full extent of a God of Destruction's power myself, given that I was lucky to have survived against Universe 10's destroyer." and so I must find a way to surpass all of them beyond the point of their own reach, Black says. The Saiyan's body is the ultimate blessing of the gods, which I therefore must evolve. With each hit, I become more powerful than before, and I will use this method of growth to become the mightiest deity in existence. Stronger than the gods and even stronger than their fusion. But I also remember their union separating during our battle. Why is that, Kai? It was because the power Vegeta was beginning to bring forward became too much for the Potara earrings to handle, Gowasu says, thus resulting in their fusion ending much sooner than either of the Saiyans were hoping for. I see. Have the Saiyans used fusion since this day following our battle here or not? From my understanding with what Universe 7 Supreme Kai had told me, they did, but it wasn't the same kind of fusion, Gowasu says. They used the fusion dance from what I know against another Saiyan named Broly. I see. And what about Trunks, Black asks. Surely he must be alive somewhere. I will not allow for him or anyone to do what they did to me again. And to think that with just a bit of energy collected from just a few people, he was able to cut down my ultimate fusion. That I can assure will never happen to me ever again. I have seen what I needed to see from this world, with Gowasu asking, so what will you do now? Now we will move on to another timeline, Black says, as he was from there shown once again having to use the time ring. It was only upon Black slowly being shown having to go back into the portal where Black went on to continue, I want to see more, and now that I see what their fusion was capable of, my goal is to surpass it, but I still want to see more and study their achievements. Take me into a world where Goku and Vegeta were at their strongest in battle. I want to see if there ever existed a time where those Saiyans fought against someone more powerful than even their strongest levels of power. Now come, we have much work to do. Zamasu, please listen to me, Gowasu says. We are breaking the laws of time travel by entering timelines which we are not permitted to be in. If the gods find out with Goku Black cutting in, I don't care if they find out. What I care about is finding out what happened after I was destroyed. This planet here doesn't appear to be Earth, and those forms. Son Goku has silver hair, and Vegeta's hair is purple. Their energy feels much different than it did when they were using Super Saiyan Blue. Why? And who is that they are battling by using such forms, Black asks. What exactly are these powers that these mortals are using, Kai? With Gowasu responding, from what I see, the power that I see coming from Son Goku is the same power he used during the tournament. The power of Ultra Instinct. And as for Vegeta, his power feels as though it derives from a god of destruction. What did you just say? Black went on to ask. Ultra Instinct? That mortal was able to achieve the power of the gods? And Vegeta, a destroyer's form. Interesting. And if these mortals have such great power, then why are they struggling against the warrior they are facing, he asks. Why is he stronger? With Gowasu responding, I don't know. I've heard from Universe 7 Supreme Kai of a warrior the Saiyans battle who used the set of Dragon Balls to become the strongest, but I am unsure if this is him. Dragon Balls? What Dragon Balls? Black asks. The Super Dragon Balls? Remember, Kai, tell me, is this the full extent of everyone's power here? With Gowasu responding, I don't fully know, Zamasu. There are other Dragon Balls throughout the multiverse, so there must have been a set here that have been used. Curse those mortal insects. In my current state, there is no way I'd be able to compare to them if they wield those levels of power. The goalposts have now been made clear. Their fusion, the gods of destruction, and their current ultra levels of power that they currently have. So be it then, he says, as he was only from there shown going back inside the portal. That was when Black went on to continue. That was all I needed to see from them, so the goal has been made clear. And now into the 10th we go then. There is much for me to do before my plan is placed into action, he says. Of all the things I could have seen here today, what's clear to me is the gap between my power and theirs within the moment. But that will all soon change, and you are going to assist me in getting to where I need to be, whether you like it or not, Gowasu. And then, only then, once it's all said and done, I will at long last finally put you out of your misery. To which, with Goku Black then being shown tossing Gowasu on down to the floor upon having to exit the portal, it was only upon Goku Black now being shown pointing at Gowasu where Goku Black went on to ask, "Tell me something, now that the destroyer of this universe has been killed, do the rules of its passage still apply to those who are able to claim a destroyer's life in battle? With Ramush gone, I should now serve as this universe's new god of destruction, is that correct? If a destroyer is killed in battle, then whoever may claim their life, Gowasu says, will become its next god of destruction, yes. Oh, and in order for me to pass through this ritual, I must speak to its angel, is that right? Kusu, was it? Only she could be able to approve of me to become one, right? Yes, I do believe so, but you do know that if she were to bless you as being one, then your life force will be one with mine, right? And there is no way that the other gods wouldn't know of you becoming one. With Goku Black responding, is that what you honestly think is going to happen? You think that you and I will share the same lifeline in this? No, old man. I have other plans that I will look to place into motion. Whoever said that you would be the Supreme Kai that I would choose to become my lifeline? Don't worry about any of that. What you should be more worried about is guiding me into the places that I am looking to go towards. Do you remember a long time ago how you were able to aid me in my training as the next Supreme Kai? Well, I may need to borrow your skills for once you show me where the Room of Spirit and Time is. Once I've done my business there, then we will summon Kusu. There is no reason on why I shouldn't be able to achieve the levels of power that those Saiyans did if I was able to do so before. And once I decide on which of these powers I will use as my primary, the rest will be a cakewalk, Black says. Goku's body is the ultimate tool and weapon of war, and so once I learn more about those powers they wield, then I too will acquire the same, except the only difference will be that my power will be far greater than any of theirs. Even while combined, my wrath has no end and neither do my plans to destroy them. As we only then witness how Goku Black had now immediately jumped into transforming into Super Saiyan Rose, that was when Black went on to continue, and once I have merged and mastered these powers, I will from there create my own more powerful version, just like I did when I went and mastered Goku's Super Saiyan Blue form and created this one. I will become the ultimate fighting machine, greater than any mortal in the multiverse. There will be nothing that will stop me from achieving victory, and this will only be but the beginning of so many horrors to come. But where to begin, am I right, Kai? Should I start by learning more about Vegeta's destroyer form, or should I start by mastering Ultra Instinct? Or maybe I should start by going down my own unique path before merging the two into one. Can you feel it too, Kai? As with Gowasu looking absolutely terrified as to what he is witnessing, it was only from there where Gowasu went on to comment, "What have you become, Zamasu? What a horrifying and evil energy. A blackened and heartless soul. Why are you doing this? This rage that you have within has consumed you. What are we to do?" As we only then all the while venture back into Universe 7, in seeing as to how Gohan was now shown having to assist his daughter Pan by doing homework, it was only from there where Gohan went on to tell her, "Alright Pan, now remember your multiplication table in case you get stuck on a math problem, okay? You're extremely smart for a child your age, but I have no doubt that you'll do great on your upcoming test," with Pan responding, "Okay Papa, well here are my notes and I'll make sure to check twice in case I need help solving a problem," she says. "Tell you what we're going to do once you're finished with your homework here and you've studied for a bit," Gohan says. "How about we go outside and get some ice cream for the two of us," he asks. Sounds like a plan? Well, I haven't had ice cream in forever, Papa. You bet. I'm so excited, Pan says, as all the while in the meantime, as we then venture on over to Beerus's planet, we only from that point on witness a battle going down involving both Orange Piccolo and Super Saiyan Blue Goku, as with both Vegeta and Beerus seemingly having to observe this training session. It was only from there where Beerus went on to comment, "The Namekian is a lot stronger than I originally remembered him being, and to see him go blow for blow with Goku's blue form is a bit impressive for someone like him, to say the least. How interesting." And with Broly out of the way, Vegeta says, "This at least gives us a chance to see what the two of them can do against each other without worrying about someone getting in their way." As it was only during the midst of combat with both Piccolo and Goku shown engaging in battle, it was only from there where Piccolo went on to tell Goku, "Go on then, Goku, what's the holdup? Where's that Ultra Instinct power of yours? Quit holding out and use it before you get dropped." No, Goku says, "Not yet, Piccolo. As good as you are, I think I can still take you on without it. Are you asking me to use it because you're getting a little nervous?" But Piccolo was not having it, as he was only from there shown attempting to strike Goku, with Goku being shown moving out of the way. It was only upon Goku's comments to Piccolo where Piccolo went on to respond, "You wish I was getting nervous, Goku. I know you're using some kind of form of Ultra Instinct because your movements have completely changed." But then, that was when from out of nowhere, Goku was shown having to uppercut Piccolo in the face by telling him, "Well, that just means that you'll have to try a little harder if you hope to win. You're a lot stronger than you were before, and I'm glad that you are, Piccolo, but you just don't have what it takes to beat me." But it was only as Goku went as far as to say this where Piccolo had gone as far as to grab onto Goku's arm and telling him, "You're getting a bit far ahead of yourself, Goku. You must have picked that little trait up from being around Vegeta too much." To where as quickly as it happened, that was when Piccolo was shown having to elbow Goku in the face by then telling him, "You should already know that I am not the same as I was before, and here I thought you were better than this. But I guess I was wrong." As with Piccolo now being shown having to double axe handle Goku back down onto the ground, it was only upon Goku's body being shown having to make impact down below where Piccolo went on to continue, "Down you go. It's been a very long time since the two of us had the opportunity to go head to head like this, and I couldn't be any more pleased with the results, old friend." But it was only as Piccolo went on to acknowledge the overall situation where it was only from out of nowhere where Piccolo then began to sense something coming up from behind him, as Piccolo went on to respond, "Wait, that energy. Oh no, it's him. He's back already? And his power is even bigger than it was a few minutes ago." To where out of nowhere we only then see how full-powered Super Saiyan Broly was now making his way ever so closer towards Orange Piccolo, as Broly had now appeared to be in a very infuriated state of mind. It was only from there where Beerus went on to respond, "Well, that was fast of him to return so quickly after being thrown into outer space. Well, his power seems to have grown quite large. Hopefully this doesn't become a bigger issue than what it already is. And so what do you say, Vegeta? Both the Namekian and Kakarot's better think of something fast if they hope to endure much more of this, especially now that Broly is a lot stronger than he was a few moments ago. I'll watch and buy my time," as we only then see how Broly had now managed to smash his way into Orange Piccolo by from there being shown delivering a thunderous punch while Piccolo went as far as to block it. It was only from there where Piccolo went on to respond, "What is this guy? He's strong, but I've got to find a weak point and fast. He's adapting and growing much stronger than Goku, and that's a problem." But even then, Broly was not shown having to let up at all, as Broly had continued his onslaught with Piccolo responding, "Damn it! His punches are too heavy. He'll break my arms if I don't do something." As it was only from the ground below where we then get to see how Super Saiyan Blue Goku had now made his way into dashing towards Broly, with Goku shown now coming in between them as he from there went as far as to headbutt Broly in the face. It was only then where Goku went on to tell Broly, "I got this. Enough, Broly, you're getting too out of control for your own good. Try and focus on my words and listen to me. You've got to get a grip on this power of yours and not let it be what controls you. Learn to be the one in control." "I didn't expect to say this to you, but thanks for that, Goku," Piccolo says. "His power just keeps growing. It's like a never-ending cycle with him, but I'm afraid we're way past the point of seeing him control it," with Goku responding, "Sadly, I think you're right. Maybe the only way that we'll be able to get through to him is if we attack him together and see where it takes us. It's every man for themselves, so we'll resume our fight once we're able to stabilize Broly, Goku says. Well then far be it from me to say no, Piccolo says. It doesn't look like he isn't hearing us, but it's more than likely that it's his Saiyan instincts to fight for survival that's driving him. Well, ready when you are, with Goku responding, then we'll find a way to slow him down so that way his rage doesn't consume whatever's left of his humanity. Let's go! As with both Super Saiyan Blue Goku and Orange Piccolo now shown making their way towards Broly, it was only at that point upon having to attack him where Whis went on to chime in, well, this is an unexpected little surprise, a temporary union in battle. Oh, I wonder how long this will last, with Beerus chiming in, probably not very long, Whis. Look, the Savage is rather holding his own well enough against the both of them up there. As with Broly now being shown having to kick Orange Piccolo back down onto the ground with Goku's punch being blocked by his elbow, it was only from there where Goku went on to respond, ah, damn it, Piccolo, darn, this isn't good. You, Kakarot. Great, Goku says. If this keeps going the way it is, then I'll end up on the ground just like Piccolo. Alright, Broly, since you aren't going to listen to me, then I might as well not hold anything back against you and make you listen to me the hard way then. Now let's just see which one of us will be going down first. Come on, Broly, show me what you've got. As in the meantime, while this was happening, when then going back to both Gowasu and Goku Black, we only from that point on see how Gowasu had seemingly enough now brought Goku Black on forward in front of the time chamber, with Goku Black asking, is this it? Is this the door that leads into the time chamber, Kai? Yes, Zamasu, this is the door. This particular chamber has not been used in over 7 generations, but the time which passes within is very different than many of the other chambers that you may possibly be aware of, Gowasu says. 1 day in this world equals 3 years in this time chamber here, with Black responding, 3 years per day, you say? How very interesting. Let's have a look inside then. So the God of Destruction was the only one who used this room before, did he? I can see why. Then I will max this room out while I'm here, he adds. 5 days ought to be sufficient enough to get things done. But you will be all alone, Gowasu says. How do you hope to achieve this growth with no one to train with? Who said I was going to be alone here? This is why you're here with me, Kai. You are going to do as I say or I will butcher you where you stand. 5 days in the living world should equal to about 15 years inside. So if I'm going to push this body to its absolute limits, then I might as well use you to get everything out of it as I possibly can. So why waste any more time? Come, Gowasu, let us begin. As it was only right then and there during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of Goku Black's Resurrection manga chapter number 4 special then comes to a close. Now this is bad because with Goku Black now discovering a time chamber of his own, the essential goal for Goku Black here is to push his own vessel to the breaking point of achieving higher levels of power, all while remaining low-key in not being detected by anyone else during this time, as with Goku Black also now being very well aware of the overall situation involving the Angel of Universe 10, it would only now appear as though that once Goku Black is from there shown finally be done with his training, that he would only from then carry on in meeting the Angel in order for her to grant him the permission, in from that point becoming Universe 10's next God of Destruction, which simply now goes as far as to beg the million-dollar question on whether or not the Angel of Universe 10 is going to grant Goku Black such an access, or will he ultimately be denied by the Angel in becoming Universe 10's next destroyer. As again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so very much for your time, to where just in case you also just so happened to miss out on the previous episodes, then be sure to go on ahead and check them out on the channel. Links to that will be located down in the description box below, in which if you all
Y'all already know that boy Black got a super plan to be the Superman. Will he make it through? Hey, y'all better keep tuned, because, you know, Battle of God series is going to continue in January. We got one more next week, because, you know, he probably going to do an episode after Christmas. Hopefully he does something on Christmas. You never know with Unreal. He'll probably just do a streaming video live. Just tune in, though. Y'all know to check him out. We got one more to go. You already know. It's a doozy.
Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi.
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.
Thought this was funny when I seen it. Dang, cat got suplexed.
I already joined his Patreon today. Tons of great stuff on there, actually. But did you really have to blow up the city?
Yes.
Blew up the domino. You blew up the dominoes and you're laughing. Do you realize the fucking crisis here?
And you will be next. Unless you subscribe, like the video, and turn on notifications right now.
Or else what? You'll aggressively scream another man's name for several hours?
Kakarot! Kakarot!
And so it finally now looks as though it's all come down to this, as with the stage now set for a battle of epic proportions, especially with Vegeta shown having to free himself from Lord Cobris's control, one must wonder, has Vegeta's time under Cobris's control imbued him with a deeper strength? Or perhaps did it create a hidden vulnerability for Cobris to find and exploit? The answers, I believe, lie in the heart of this upcoming battle, and if Vegeta isn't careful and allows for any weaknesses to be noticed, then I'm afraid that this will undoubtedly be the last time that we will ever see Vegeta ever again.
As our story now continues, following the initial events of Vegeta being shown having to finally break himself free from Lord Cobris's control, as with the bloodthirsty and vengeful Vegeta now setting his sights in getting Universe 14's God of Destruction back for what he did, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "I could never expect for someone like you to ever come close in understanding what it means to wield the pride of a Saiyan destroyer. For as a God of Destruction, you sit at the very top of the food chain while the rest of us have to earn our way to the top of that mountain, and guess what? It's time that you come to face the fact that you're about to get knocked off your throne by none other than a Saiyan elite. And because of what you tried to do to me," Vegeta continues, "I have never felt more driven and more eager to annihilate someone as I am right now. And this bloodlust that I feel, this overwhelming desire to see you beaten, is all the motivation that I need to finish our little story." "Is that so?" Cobris went on to then quickly respond. "For you to even assume your place as a mortal to be anywhere near my level of power is disrespectful to the highest degree, Saiyan. So you may have escaped my control, but you are nothing compared to me, and I will show you no mercy this time around, Vegeta. For you will cease to exist, and if I was wrong to assume your loyalty, then your defeat will be absolute and a testament to your foolishness in challenging a God of destruction of my supreme caliber, Vegeta. Uh-oh, then I welcome you to go ahead and do your worst, because if you intend to destroy me, Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, then you better make sure that you don't miss. So one way or another, you will be the one who will be forced to submit to me, just like you tried to do with me, Destroyer. But maybe it's just me, God of Destruction, or is it? Maybe this feeling that I'm getting, which I sense coming from your spirit, is a clear sign and indication of fear, am I right? Surely you couldn't possibly help to see yourself losing to a mere Saiyan who happens to wield Destroyer levels of power, do you? Well, for your sake, I hope that you truly are on a level that is far beyond my ability to reach, because I am going to hit you with a fury the likes of which you have never seen before. As Goku then went on to respond, gosh, is it me or does Vegeta appear a lot crazier and more aggressive now than how he was shown having to be before, Whis? And it's strange because I haven't seen Vegeta this battle-lusted since the days where he allowed for Babidi to take control of his mind before our battle, with Whis responding, well, that's because he honestly is, but I want you to observe very carefully, Goku. Notice how Vegeta's provocations are slowly beginning to get under Lord Cobris' skin, Whis continues, and Vegeta, although battle-crazed, is playing mind games to create a mental imbalance within Lord Cobris, in going as far as to seek out any opening that he possibly could find to further exploit any lapse in Lord Cobris' focus. Oh, now I see, Goku responds. So he intends to stay 5 steps ahead by making sure that Lord Cobris isn't solely focusing on destruction like he should be, but instead going as far as to shift his focus on over to his pride as a god of destruction, in not wanting to be remembered as a destroyer who went down to a mortal. Is that right, Whis? With Whis responding, well, in essence, yes, as although Lord Cobris is a formidable god of destruction, even gods have their mental thresholds, and Vegeta is testing those limits by going as far as to look for any sort of crack that he could find and exploit in Lord Cobris' mental armor, for it is a calculated risk that might yield a crucial opportunity for Vegeta if he isn't fortunate enough to seize it. Well, I sure do hope that he could pull it off out there, because from the looks of it, Goku went on to then quickly respond, that god of destruction sure doesn't look too happy about what just happened, as Whis went on to turn his head and noticing Beerus leaving by responding, yes, as I don't think that Lord Cobris is the only one here who isn't happy either. To which from out of nowhere within that very moment, as soon as Vegeta from that point was then shown having to throw Cobris' own energy of destruction back at him, was when Vegeta then went on to shout, alright, god of destruction, playtime is over. So here, I believe this ball of venomous destruction belongs to you. So try not to let it all go to your head like how you tried to get inside of mine. Now come on and let's see what you're truly made of, you snake. In which with Universe 14's god of destruction quickly shown having to leap up out of the way, was when Cobris then went on to respond, why, you disingenuous, arrogant, little disrespectful Saiyan. You won't be so lucky to muscle your way out of what you have coming when I get my hands on you, Vegeta. Oh, don't you worry, god of destruction, because neither can I. Vegeta quickly went on to dash towards Cobris by responding, in which the moment Vegeta from that point had then gone as far as to throw a punch with Cobris being shown having to grab it, was when Cobris then went on to respond, your attempts to elevate yourself to my level are infuriating, Vegeta, for no matter how hard you try, you will never be capable of ever reaching the heights of true godly power, as I will delight in wearing you down and strip you away of your illusions of grandeur, mortal, so you may posture and peen yourself as you were a god, but all I see through my eyes is a dead man, with Vegeta responding, then if I'm such a low-level weakling compared to the almighty destroyer of the 14th universe, then why exactly am I still fighting against you? It's almost as if you're not as superior as you claim to be, so what's the matter? Are you feeling a bit of pressure? The answer as to why is simple, Saiyan, Cobris then went on to quickly respond, for the reason as to why you are still alive and able to fight back is because of my desire to watch you suffer before I turn what's left of you into dust, as there is nothing more that I want to see than to watch you grovel for your life, Vegeta. Oh, really? really? Well, I think you're a liar, Destroyer. I don't care what you think, Saiyan! To which, as Cobris was from there shown having to spew out venom, with Vegeta being shown having to move out of the way, was when this destructively acidic venom was nearly shown having to crash down onto Goku, with Whis having to then warn, "Oh dear, watch it now, you don't want to be caught getting hit by that there, Goku," with Goku then quickly responding, "Whoa, just what in the world is that? That looks like some kind of acid. Wait, is that Lord Cobris' venom? Whoa, that was a close one." To which, as Vegeta was then shown having to kick Cobris in the ribs, was when Vegeta then quickly went on to respond, "Your acidic venom is as pathetic as your attempts to control me, Destroyer. And here you call yourself a god of destruction, yet you rely on such cowardly tactics to try and get the job done. Well, guess what? I will never allow for you to do what you did to me like that again, because it seems like you are more afraid of me than I am of you, Destroyer. And you should be, because while my potential continues to expand, you're afraid of the odds that someone like me would go as far as to surpass someone the likes of you." But it only had now seemed as though Cobris had other plans, because despite with Vegeta being shown having to attempt to strike Cobris yet again, was when Universe 14's God of Destruction Cobris was from there shown wrapping his tail around Vegeta's neck, as Cobris then went on to quickly respond, "I have heard all that I can stand to hear, Saiyan. You think being Beerus' student makes you powerful, Vegeta? Because it doesn't. For all this means is that this makes you a target. For I will ensure that your torture is as excruciating as I could make it out to be. A slow and painful prelude to your ultimate erasure, for this will be the price that you will have to pay. Your allegiance to Beerus is your greatest mistake, Vegeta," Cobris then went on to continue, "and it's going to be one mistake that I will make you regret deeply." In which, despite Cobris now being shown holding Vegeta in front of him, by from that point then shown striking him from behind, was when Cobris then went on to continue, "You are nothing but Beerus' lapdog, Vegeta. But even a lapdog can serve a purpose, and I will use you to send a clear message to Beerus. And for you to dare and disrespect me the way you did, I promise you one thing, mortal, for this will not end in the way that you think it will. For I will inflict upon you a level of pain and suffering that even Beerus cannot protect you from, as your erasure will mark the final act in your pathetic saga once and for all," Cobris continues. "And so therefore, let this be how you will forever be remembered, as I want you to know that you were the one who brought this upon yourself, mortal. For this is the end of both you and your pathetic legacy," as Goku from that point then went on to cry out, "Oh no, it's that pose that signals destruction! Vegeta, hurry and get out of the way right now! Lord Cobris is placing his hand on your back to Hakai you! You've got to move out of the way now!" Which, surprisingly enough, Vegeta was somehow able to avoid, because just before Cobris was able to Hakai Vegeta from behind, was when from out of nowhere within that moment was when Vegeta was shown having to chomp on down and biting deeply into Cobris' tail, as Cobris then went on to shout, "Oh, my tail! What the heck are you doing, you idiots? Let go of my tail!" Oh, hey! Vegeta just went and did what I would normally go and do. Nice going there, Vegeta, as Cobris then went on to continue, "I said get your disgusting mouth off of my tail, you rotten little animal!" To where in pure anger, as Cobris from that point was then shown letting Vegeta go and doing his best attempts of having to strike Vegeta, with Vegeta shown having to move out of the way, was when Whis went on to then chime in, "Oh well, and it's as I thought would start to happen, for it looks like Vegeta was not only able to get inside of Lord Cobris' head by using his own mind games against him, but was also able to cause a momentary disruption as well," to which, as Vegeta was then shown kneeing Cobris in the stomach, was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "Oh no, you don't, Destroyer! You aren't going to be erasing me that easily, not while I still have unfinished business to settle. I told you that this wasn't going to be as easy as you thought, so can you see it now?" In which, within that very moment, as Vegeta was once again shown having to attempt to knee Cobris in the stomach was when from out of nowhere, that was when Cobris had gone as far as to look on down and noticing something very interesting, as Cobris then went on to respond, "Wait a second, but of course, but I wasn't expecting for that Saiyan to actually know how to pull it off, and so that explains it. He's been channeling his destructive energy into each of his strikes, so that is why he was able to damage me the way he did. He's putting most of his destroyer power into each one of his attacks against me. I should have known, for he must have learned this from Beerus. And as powerful as you are," Vegeta went on to knee Cobris in the stomach again, "for as cunning as you may be, even if your knowledge and experience of destruction is greater than mine, I will not have you walk all over me like I'm your pawn. Oh, silence, Saiyan, for I have just about heard enough out of that mouth of yours, and I have had it. I am Lord Cobris, the great destroyer of Universe 14, and therefore I will not be placed into a position where my very power and authority is put into question, Saiyan, for you could never wear me out or run me down no matter how hard it is that you try." In which seconds later, with Vegeta's body then shown having to hit the ground below and having to startle both Goku and Broly, was when Goku then went on to chime in, "Oh no, this is bad. He nailed Vegeta extremely hard from the looks of that one, and so he might need our help out there. Oh, you've got to get back up and fight, Vegeta, you hear me? That God of Destruction looks as though he is up to something, and so you've got to hurry and get back up on your feet before he makes his next move." But even with Cobris now beginning to create a gigantic energy ball up above him was when Cobris then went on to respond, "And if you think that I'll go and waste any more time on you, then guess again. For what I intend to go and do next will be the result of your absolute destruction, whether you attempt to fight it or not, Vegeta. For you should have remembered my offer and what I could have given you when you did, because this is where it ends." "Oh, I agree," Vegeta went on to utter beneath the smoke, "because soon we'll see on exactly which one of us will truly be the last warrior standing." To which, surprisingly enough, with Vegeta now shown having to flick his wrist upwards, and from that point then be shown having to redirect the same ball of Hakai energy that Vegeta was shown having to throw in the beginning, was when the only other individual that just so happened to have seen this was none other than Cobris' Angel Merlith, as Angel Merlith then went on to shout, "Oh, I knew that Saiyan had something up his sleeve with that ball of destruction. Oh, look out behind you, Lord Cobris! Vegeta is redirecting that ball, which consists of your venomous destruction energy, right back towards you from behind. It was a trap the entire time." But then, it was just before Cobris even had the opportunity to do anything to stop the ball of energy, was when the ball of venomous destructive energy was from there shown having to slam into Cobris' spine and having to cause Cobris and breaking up his attack in the sky, with Vegeta then having to respond, "You may be a mighty and deadly god of destruction, but you could never be able to walk in my shoes to know what true pain feels like. But the pain that I'm about to inflict upon you will be a testament to both my strength and my resolve," Vegeta then went on to continue, "for I will never betray the principles that I fought so very hard for to uphold, nor the very God who has pushed me into becoming the warrior who I am today. For this is what it means to wield true pride, Cobris. And for that, I will never surrender my identity nor turn my back on this universe, for this is my home, you snake. Now this is where you fall, Destroyer. Final destructive flash." "Whoa, just look at the size of that thing," Goku responds. "So Vegeta was able to somehow find a way to combine his Hakai with the final flash? Incredible, yes, that's the way, Vegeta! Oh no you don't, feeble creature, over my dead body you won't, Vegeta! Hakai!" To where as Cobris was then shown having to Hakai Vegeta's destructive final flash during the midst of it making contact, it only had now appeared as though both individuals were seemingly locked at a stalemate, as Whis went on to then chime in, "Oh dear, well this might actually become a much bigger problem than how we originally assumed for it to be, because unless Vegeta is able to channel enough power to muscle through Lord Cobris' Hakai, then I'm afraid Lord Cobris will continue to push back and erase Vegeta's attack until he is ultimately worn down and caught in the middle of Lord Cobris' erasure attack. attack. Well, that's not good. This is all or nothing, Goku then went on to shout. So you've got to slam that God of Destruction with everything you have or he'll erase you, Vegeta. So don't stop. We all know that you have the power to do it. So this is your chance, Vegeta. Whatever it takes, just don't let that destroyer be what erases your legacy. We know that you have the power to win. As Vegeta then went on to chime in, your biggest mistake since coming onto this world was ever thinking, even for a second, that we mortals in the 7th are anything like you've come to know. For my pride is not just a mere trait, but it's the very source of my strength that has carried me through wars that would have broken lesser beings. And so this is why we are different, and as you wield destruction as a weapon, for a Saiyan like me, it's an extension of my very being, Vegeta continues. The force that I constantly refine and redefine through many battles. And with our potential being ever ascending, that was where you were wrong. For you were wrong to think that I'd bend the knee and accept you as my ruling god without a fight. And as I carry within me the legacy of my warrior race, a legacy of survival, battle, and unyielding determination, when channeled through the power of destruction, it creates a force unlike any other, and that is what you face right now, Destroyer. For I was blinded to have turned myself over to another's control once before, but I will never allow for myself to ever be placed in that position ever again. And if it means that I'll die with my pride and my dignity intact, then so be it, Cobris. As Cobris then went on to respond, and what difference does it possibly make when you're staring up at the face of your annihilation, Cobris questions. How could your so-called warrior's pride be anything strong enough that will help you survive, Vegeta? As this is why you are weak. Your blinded trust in a god who had failed you along with your feeble mortal pride is what will be your undoing. Your grudges with Lord Beerus are none of my concern, Vegeta responds, but Lord Beerus saw something more within me than you could have ever have possibly seen, past using me as your puppet, Destroyer. For he saw a warrior with the hunger to grow stronger and to overcome anything that was put in my way. And it was this very growth fueled by my honor along with his belief in me that makes me more than a match for any god of destruction, including you. So you might be a god of destruction, but you lack the understanding of a true warrior's ambition to fight with honor, Vegeta continues. And that is what gives me focus and a greater edge over you. And as long as that remains intact, then I will never fall to the likes of you. For I am Prince Vegeta, the very embodiment of a Saiyan Destroyer. As within that very moment, with Vegeta unleashing his full power and having to overtake Cobris completely, was when Cobris then went on to shout, but how? This shouldn't be possible, for I am a god! Oh, curse you, Vegeta! Oh man, it feels like the entire universe is shaking after an explosion like that, Goku went on to then quickly respond. But I think he got him. Vegeta was actually able to push through and overcome Lord Cobris' might, but the question is, are they done? Though I will give Vegeta the tremendous amount of credit that he deserves, Whis went on to respond. Even though he was able to land such a powerful and lethal attack on Lord Cobris, I do not believe that this is over, for if you look closely at Vegeta right now, he looks to have overexerted himself to the point of total exhaustion, to which back up in the sky through the smoke as Lord Cobris was then shown standing, it only had now looked as though Cobris was barely shown having to even go as far as to survive this, as Cobris went on to then utter, Why, you wretched little man, I haven't felt pain like this for as long as I have been a destroyer, but at last, I still stand, Vegeta, for you may have weakened me, but I still stand before you, mortal. But I will say that you almost had me, but I still stand, Vegeta. And as worn out and damaged as I am still far above what you are now, and that's where you have failed. And now that I know that you are without any more power left, it's time for me to show you what real destruction looks like. But then, it was only from out of nowhere now, above Cobris, was where Vegeta was then shown descending on down and looking to kick Cobris, as Vegeta then went on to respond, and that's where you're once again wrong about what you think you know, so So guess again, you fool. You what? But how are you able to move behind me without me being able to see you leave the ground, Saiyan? You should worry less about how I was able to use instant transmission to get behind you and worry more about what's about to happen to you, Destroyer. To which, as Vegeta was then shown kicking Cobris on down to the ground and creating a shock force that echoed all throughout the landscape, was when Goku then went on to add, Vegeta, you dog, I knew that was what you went and used to get behind him. But it does look like this is far from over then, since neither of them are shown giving an inch to the other, to which, as Vegeta was then shown having to pin Cobris on down to the ground, it only had now looked as though with Vegeta being the only one standing between the two that indeed Vegeta was in full control of this situation, as Vegeta then went on to respond, your vendetta and battle against me are done, and while I may be at my limits, I still have enough power within me to go and do one more thing if you refuse to cooperate. For you have shown me that there are gods who dwell beyond our previous understanding, who are mightier than we ever could have imagined, but there you lie beneath my boots defeated, and so I will only give you one chance. Swallow your arrogance and admit defeat right now. Stand down and quit while you have the chance, God of Destruction, for you went and overplayed your hand. Refuse? Then I will go and do what no other mortal has ever dared to go and try to do before, as I will erase you here and now. As you should know after searching my spirit that I'll go and do it too. Now accept your defeat gracefully or be erased from history. My patience is wearing thin. And since you were so sure of yourself without realizing that I had broken you from within firstly, just like how you did with me in your universe, then now you know. And so now say it. Surrender and admit that you've been beaten, or I will do the unprecedented and erase a God of Destruction myself forever. So don't test my resolve. This is what you meant by releasing the monster within, is that right? Well, here it is. Now say it. Say that you've lost. Quit and go back to your universe with some dignity, Destroyer. For maybe now you can see that you were wrong about what you saw coming from me. So now say it. I will never back down, Saiyan. You just got lucky, and so I refuse. I swear on the lives of my children and on my very honor that this is your last chance to admit defeat, or I will channel every fiber of my very being and eradicate you right now. Concede your defeat now or die forever, God of Destruction. Now say it. Curse you, wretched Saiyan. I concede. I give up, mortal. Now get off of me. In which finally now with Cobris admitting defeat and proving that Vegeta was more than worthy of contending against the God of Destruction was when Whis went on to then chime in, well, I'll be. He really did it. Vegeta was actually able to get into Lord Cobris' head and wear him down to the point of victory. I can't believe it. Way to go, Vegeta. You did it, Goku went on to then shout. You actually did it. You broke through your shell and used your resolve as your ultimate weapon to win. That was just amazing, with Vegeta now being shown backing on up by responding, no, it took you long enough, Destroyer. And so maybe now you will open your eyes and see that even we mortals can prove ourselves to be more than worthy. You disgust me, Cobris responds. Now get away from me, Saiyan. So let this be a reminder to you, Vegeta went on to then power down, that we here are far more than just pawns, for we are warriors who will fight for what we believe in, Destroyer. And although you and I are done here, Vegeta continues, you were far more than I could have expected from a god and a worthy adversary indeed. Very good. Well done, Vegeta, Beerus then surprisingly went on to say to himself as he went on to observe Vegeta's battle with Cobris, for I had to see it to actually believe it, and to think that not only is Vegeta able to simply wield the power of a god of destruction, but best one in battle too, is eye-opening. And as your progress is more than just impressive, Beerus continues, for it's a testament to your relentless training and wanting to be the best, which is something that I am now able to see. And maybe this was what I needed to see, because if this day has taught me anything, it's that I think it's time that I start taking my responsibilities as a god of destruction more seriously. For I will go and use this day as a great reminder to myself that I will never fall like how I did ever again, and as I will recommit myself to the discipline of my training with a newfound intensity to ensure that my name remains synonymous with unparalleled might. In which back down below with the others now shown having to gather together with Goku being shown rushing towards Vegeta's aid was when Goku then went on to respond, "Well, I'm glad that things are finally settled cause you look like a mess, Vegeta, and you really gave us all a scare back there when you were under his control cause I didn't think that there was any sort of way of being able to get through to you," with Vegeta responding, "Well, you're lucky that I didn't end you on the fly when I did, Kakarot, because I could have," with Angel Merlith having to respond, "Are you alright, Lord Cobris? Shall we go back to Universe 14 and leave the Saiyans of this world as they are while we go and take our leave? How could I have allowed myself to let that worm get inside of my head is beyond me," and angry Cobris went on to then respond, "But I will not leave until I claim his head. No, for our story is not over, Vegeta. Now disappear, Huck." What? In which, shockingly enough, with the God of Destruction of Universe 14, Cobris being shown having to aim his arm down with the intention of erasing Vegeta, was when from out of nowhere at the same time, Vegeta was also now shown doing the same thing, as Vegeta then went on to respond, "I knew there was something that was off, and I was right to have assumed what I felt because it's like I said, I'll go as far as I need to if it means proving my point." "So you knew, but how did you know?" Cobris went on to then question. "So you truly weren't bluffing when you said you died to prove your worth after all," with Vegeta responding, "It's like Lord Beerus had mentioned to me prior, before creation comes destruction. And to use that power the way that it was always meant to be used would require for me to always think about destroying, and I am." "I see," Cobris responds, "very wise of you to act on your instincts to destroy rather than ponder on it. Very well then, Vegeta, but let me go and make one thing very clear to you and set the record straight by saying that I don't like you," Cobris continues, "and while you may have used these mind games to disrupt my focus on destruction, I cannot deny your potential as a mortal who wields destructive power, and while your mind games were a clever ruse during our fight, you still have a very long way to go if you hope to be any sort of match to a god's true power, Vegeta, for you are still very far away from being my equal, and deep down you know this to be the truth, Saiyan. And even though I cannot stand the sight of you, I don't have to like you to see that you have some sort of merit as being a student of a destroyer. And so for that alone, you have earned my respect, Saiyan, so consider this a sign of my acknowledgement towards you in recognizing your standing among the gods. For I rarely ever express such signs of understanding, especially to the likes of a mortal such as yourself," Cobris continues, "but consider yourself the first in having me do this for, Vegeta," with Vegeta being shown grabbing onto Cobris' arm by then responding, "Consider yourself the first in having me do this for, Vegeta," with Vegeta then being shown responding, "Well, would you go and look at that, acknowledged by another mighty god of destruction. Who would have thought? But I accept, for you have my mutual respect in return." "Right, but understand this, Vegeta," Cobris went on to then continue, "this changes nothing between us, for it's as I said to you before, you and I are far from finishing this story, and now that I can see on what kind of a warrior you truly are, I will be back for you again one day, and I won't be as merciful to you like how I am now. For I want you to mark my words, Vegeta, we will fight again one day, and you will not beat me when you do. And since you stood your ground by representing Beerus' pathetic name, he can now consider his debt to be paid from here on, but I want you to remember that I will fight you again one day, and no matter where it is that I fight you, whether it's in this universe, my universe, or any other, I will not lose to you a second time around, Vegeta. So heed my warning, mortal, and remember this moment. Now let us go, Merlith. In which within that very moment, as Vegeta was now shown having to oversee Cobris and Merlith having to leave Universe 7, was when Vegeta then went on to say to himself, so you intend for us to have a rematch someday, is that it, Destroyer? Well, good, because I welcome the challenge of beating you again, and maybe next time I too will be much different than what I am now. So until that day comes, I will train and wait for your invitation to battle, Cobris. Oh, a rematch, huh? Goku went on to then chime in. Well, I wouldn't mind having a crack at fighting Lord Cobris myself, if I'm being honest here. So what do you think, Vegeta? You think maybe you can swap out and let me get a turn in with him, or what? Cause now I'm excited, with Vegeta responding, as if you think you'd come close in making a Destroyer quit like how I did is ridiculous, Kakarot, so wait your turn. No, come on, Vegeta, you know I would have had you join me when we went to go face off against Lord Reno, so that's not fair. Yeah, well, too bad, Vegeta responds, and besides, Lord Cobris is far tougher to deal with in battle than you realize, but maybe I'll consider Broly next time, since you already had your turn at fighting a god, so now stop asking. As in the meantime, while all of this was shown going down on Beerus's planet, when then making our way back on over to Earth, it only now appears as though the battle involving Piccolo, Gohan, and Cell Max had now reached its conclusion, as Gohan went on to respond, wow, what a crazy day, huh, Piccolo? And here I imagine that just when we thought that we were done dealing with more androids, out comes Cell again, who nearly cost us all everything, as Piccolo went on to respond, well, I'm finally glad that this entire mess is over and done with, cause that was a close one, especially if you haven't went and transformed into, well, whatever that form of yours was just now, so it's good to see things finally go back to how they should. So how do you feel? With Gohan responding, well, I can't say that I'm really pleased by what happened here, but I'm sure glad that Cell Max is gone for good now. I mean, who would have thought that someone would go and try to think that bringing back Cell only as a gigantic mindless monster was going to be a good idea, right? But as for that form just now, I think I've got a really cool name for it, so I think I'm going to go and call it Beast. Yeah, that's a cool enough name, I think. Wait, but are you really sure about this? Dr. Hedo went on to question Bulma. I mean, I could just go and turn myself into the police because I truly don't want to cause any more trouble, with Bulma responding, no, don't worry about all of that. As long as we can put that brain of yours to good use and not build giant human-crushing robots like Cell Max again, then I think we're going to be just fine, with Gohan having to then respond, hey, speaking of just now, have you seen Pan anywhere, Piccolo? She was just here a moment ago and now she's completely Papa! Pan went on to then quickly shout, you won't believe what just happened! I went and made a new friend! Wait, what? You went and made a new friend all the way out here? Okay, sweetie, but wait, Gohan, look. She's holding on to someone's hand, so there's something, or rather someone, standing behind her, as Pan went on to then respond, I did, Papa, I really did, and he's the best. And well, I've never really made a friend like this before, not even in school, and he's a little shy, but look, he's right here. Come and say hi to my Papa and Uncle Piccolo, Mr. Green Leprechaun. In which, shockingly enough, from behind Pan stepping forward was none other than Universe 15's God of Destruction, Gardox, as Gardox went on to then respond, well, hiya there, mortals. You know, I really wasn't expecting to find myself on such a tiny little strange planet like this, but, well, there was something about what I felt coming from this world that I was just dying to find out about, and well, here I am. And just in case if you needed to know, I go by the name of Gardox, the God of Destruction of Universe 15. And since I can already see that the big green one over there is more than likely referred to as Uncle Piccolo, then you must be the father of this child then, aren't you? Wait, are you serious? Bulma then went on to question. He's a God of Destruction from Universe 15? But I thought that there were only 12 universes in total, you guys. Gohan, she doesn't understand the gravity of the situation that she is in, Piccolo went on to whisper. We've got to go and get her away from that destroyer immediately, with Gohan responding, easy there, alright. Now, Pan, why don't you let go of that nice little, leprechaun's hand and come over here, okay? No, I actually actually think she'll be staying right here next to me for the time being, Papa Gohan. At least until I am able to get some answers around here and getting down to the bottom of a few things, and especially after sensing such an incredible power that was emanating from this world. And so now what do you say we all go and play a little game then, shall we, Gardox Questions? Because I don't know about all of you, but I have all the time in the world to spare, especially now that I'm here, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super Story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 14 manga chapter finale then comes to a close. So before anything else, what a conclusive battle, with Vegeta being shown also having a victory over one of the newly resurrected Gods of Destructions, this time having to be one that came from Universe 14, is only going to further establish the fact that Cobris and Vegeta are going to have their rematch, but not in this story, wink wink, as everything is going to be laid and planned out for the future to come, as I can't wait to show you guys as to what is about to transpire next, because needless to say, coming up next, we are going to be entering into both the Universe 15 and Universe 16 sagas, which I really do think you guys are going to enjoy, specifically when seeing what Gardox is going to be doing with Gohan, and along with Universe 16's God of Destruction Ferrix and what he wants to do with Goku, Vegeta, and Broly. So to that, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and thank you all so much for your time, to which, as always, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel, then I do encourage for all of you guys to head on over and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking on the bell icon, so that way you guys never miss a single video that is posted onto the channel, on top of giving this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for so much more. Thank you all so much again, because trust me when I say there's so much more coming your way, so you do not want to miss out on anything that's about to take place. So thank you all once more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, everybody, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello. Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to Unrelent Gaming? Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch. Roshi. Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content.
Y'all already know. We're going to have a nice Merry Christmas over here at the Team DWC headquarters. Y'all be safe out here this Christmas. I'll see y'all next Super Saturday. And of course, we got a little more entertainment for y'all here at the end of this video. So y'all know, this is just my peace out.
Like, what the hell are you doing? Huh? Hanukkah? You fucking heard me? What are you doing? Why are you out here chilling?
Oh, it's nothing else to do.
Nothing to do. Bro, everything's literally to do right now. Christmas is coming up.
Oh, we still do that? I thought that had got canceled.
Why would Christmas be canceled?
You know, I think people just be chilling.
What you mean people just be chilling? What you mean on
how the other holidays, when they come around, everybody know they there. You know, Valentine's Day, people have the hearts. And then, you know, Thanksgiving. And they was like, you know, fuck Santa. I don't think people like Christmas no more.
What you mean people don't like Christmas no more? I'm the king of holidays. This the king of holidays. Oh, hell no. We finna change this right now.
You know it's me, cold as the winter breeze and 10 degrees. About to end the speech of the best festivity that's in the street. Somewhat these holidays pretend to be, because they tend to be a little full of themselves lately. Thanksgiving, you should change your name to Macy's. Your whole day is like watching fucking paint dry, and your mascot is a dry bird that can't fly. Pulled up at your parade in a sleigh on the sly, and stole your shine like a cloud in July. You're not giving a holiday celebrating colonizers to plot thickings. Keep 3 hoes, but I'm not tricking. Nah, that's Halloween. I see you got a team full of ghouls and goblins, all messed up, but who you robbing? You're going downhill like a new toboggan, soon forgotten. Just a new excuse for thought, and you a scary ass Mary Poppins. Any one of y'all, we could get it poppin'. I turn your holiday to a silent night. I'm the violent type. I'll deck your hall with an overwrite. Get your bell jingled with an uppercut. Fuck Valentine's, cause they made it up to give cards away. Cupid can't take my heart away. Fuck Labor and Arbor Day. Also, fuck Father's Day and Mother's Day. Fuck your mama. And plus, what the fuck is Kwanzaa? Easter boy, I am at your head. You gon' die just like an egg and get hidden. Columbus Day, tell that shit good riddance. 2 middle fingers hitting under mittens that you could discover. 2 bitches sitting up under a mistletoe kissing each other. Sorry that I had to mention them others. I had to diss them to keep myself distant. I'm back in town and I'm checking both lists. Quit playing, bitch. Ain't no shit better than Christmas. Oh, and fuck St. Patrick's Day too.
Y'all have a Merry Christmas, man. We'll see y'all next Super Saturday.